Hi there and welcome. Olga is here, and today I wanted to answer a question regarding something that came up with an amazing lady that I had an honor to chat with, a client of mine, and she asked if anger or if cancer means that we have some anger that we're holding on to. I think it's a brilliant question, and those of you who are familiar with the connection of emotions and physical diseases, you probably can understand where this question is coming from. Those of you who are new to this connection, I wanted to go on that a little bit deeper and just kind of talk about emotional causes of physical illnesses and how it sort of manifests in our bodies. And this is something that's fairly new to our society. And I've grown up in a family of doctors. My mom's a doctor, my dad is a doctor. And for them, it's not something that is mainstream or known. So before I dive into that, I wanted to kind of share a bit of my personal experience with cancer and how it touched my life. Now, I haven't had cancer, wasn't diagnosed with cancer myself, but in the last 3 years, two of my closest people actually were. So about 3 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and about 2 years ago, my daughter was diagnosed with leukemia. So this topic is something that's very dear and near to my heart, and I went through quite a bit, during this couple of years, trying to support, them, and I've learned so much about this condition, especially the emotional factors that contribute to this condition. And I wanted to talk about this for just a bit. And one thing that is something that's hard for people to grasp and understand is how exactly emotions connect with physical illness. But the easiest way to sort of perceive it, or to have clarity around it, it really has to do is that unaddressed emotions, they create physical blocks and illness in our body. So it's something as simple as, like, if you have a light kind of like dizziness, or sort of beginning to have a headache, it could be a sign from your body that you need some rest, right? And if you ignore it, and if you work through this, and you're like one of those workaholics, and you just push through and keep on going, then you'll start having headaches, right? Next thing you know, you go to the doctor, you get some pills. But really what's happening is your body trying to send you some signals, some kind of information, some kind of what's really going on underneath there for you to make some changes, or shift a perspective. And so if you ignore the headache and you just put some Advil into this, versus addressing what is really your body trying to tell you, next thing you know, you're trying to get migraines, right? And then I know, brain cancer, or God knows what. And so all what those things are is that first your body will quietly ask you for something. It'll have like this nice voice within, and like a slight symptom, and then if you don't address that, and it gets louder and louder and louder. So cancer essentially is a very loud voice, a very loud way to say something, to address something. And yes, it's based on the emotions, and yes, cancer, one of the main emotions is anger. So there's this brilliant book that I use a lot with my work with clients, called Secret Language of Your Body. There's another good one by Louise Hay. It's called Heal Your Body. So this is what Ina May says about cancer. So it says it's feeling limited, angry, fearful, or out of control, carrying wounds from the past, not feeling good enough, shrinking inside, and attacking yourself from within. Feeling like guilt, grief, and uncertainty are eating away at your body. On guard, never able to relax and let go, often pushing yourself to do more than you can handle, trying to please others, and constantly seeking approval. So those are the underlying emotions. And of course, they're different for everybody, but those are the key underlying emotions that people who go through cancer experience. So when I went to visit my mom that winter, it's a very difficult period of time for her, needless to say, right? She was scheduled for surgery, and we done a lot of tapping together, a lot of work together. And something really interesting that came up as me and my mom was talking, I naturally asked her, because she was crying a lot, and I asked her, I was like, Mom, what is the worst thing that can happen, that that really bothers you so much? And she said, that I will die. And I go, what was the worst thing about that? And she said that honestly, it's that you will be left without my support. And by you, she said like me and her husband and my sister and her mom. So she felt like, we needed her, and that's why she was, very upset if she would have died, kind of thing, which is really interesting, right? Like, we always putting others' needs first. And it is very true for my mom, and I'm sure a lot of women and a lot of moms, when we carry so much more than we can handle. And that's one of the things, right? Always pushing yourself to do more than you can handle. And so when I talked to her about that, I mentioned that, listen, mom, I love you very much. And I don't think you're gonna die, because prognosis actually was very good. She just needed to have minor surgery, and this would sort of go away hopefully after that, which is exactly what happened. She's doing great, by the way, now. And um, she's still doing some treatment, and they monitor her, but the cancer is out of her body. So it actually has, the story has a good ending. And so as I'm talking to her, I'm mentioning that, yes, mom, if you die, the part of me, of course, will miss you. But honestly, what I'll primary will feel every time I think about you is that I feel the love and appreciation and gratitude for everything that you've taught me. And when she heard that, she broke into tears. She started crying. And I was like, Mom, why are you crying? And she goes like, you don't love me. I was like, I just told you I am. And it's interesting how in our society, grief and loss is something that is part of love, right? If you love somebody, the more you love somebody, the more you'll grieve over them. And if you don't grieve, it's almost like you don't love them. And I'm not saying that you should grieve at all. It's just people will turn their life into grief, right? There will be years and years after the person passed away, and there's still so much pain within them that they cannot talk about this person, that they cannot really be at peace with that. And what I'm very passionate about in helping people is to understand, if somebody, and if you're listening to this, the chances are you either know someone who has cancer, or you're experiencing this, or you went through a similar experience. And what I want you to hear and to kind of take out of this message is something that I'm passionate about. And it has to do with what happens when people pass away. And of course, it's a fear of death, right? Of course, we don't know what really happens after death. But what I believe, it's more like a graduation. It's more like going to the next step or next level versus the end. I don't believe that it is. And if you tune into the deeper part of yourself, which is your soul, right? It's just life and light, then you'll know that soul does live. You just know it on that level. And it's not something that even needed proof. So whatever is the loved one going through, or you going through, and if you are fearing the fear of death, I want you to hear me, and I want you to tune into this message, and just really hopefully understand and accept that soul never dies, right? You keep on living. And yeah, there are proofs of reincarnations, and you might have certain beliefs about what happens after death, but one way or another, I just truly believe that it's just a new beginning. And I think when you face this and you address it, a lot of other emotions around cancer and death will start going away. And if you're struggling with this, tap on that. Tapping is such an awesome tool. I can honestly tell you guys, I'm not afraid of death. And I know it's a very loud statement, and some of you probably will not even believe me. But I've kind of put myself in a situation as what would happen if I died today or tomorrow. And of course, I'm worried about my kids, right? But the truth is where I am right now, and how I live my life and how I show up generally really reflects how I would do it if I would die today, kind of thing, right? So that's another message that I want you to take out of this. I just kind of went off orbit. We talk about anger and cancer and talk about life and death now, but it came up, so I think it's the right one to address. And again, cancer and death, they just so tied up together. So ask yourself, are you living in the moment? Are you serving the way that you want to serve? Are you in your highest mission and passion on this planet? And if not, what tiny bitty steps can you make to start going in that direction, right? And another piece I wanted to share with you guys is something that happened with my daughter, and it was 2 years ago, and she was diagnosed with leukemia. And notice that I almost never say that she had leukemia. She has leukemia. I think she was diagnosed with this, because diagnosis is not prognosis. The truth is, I never really truly believe that she has leukemia. I just kind of saw it as a temporary condition in her body that she's going through, and she's needed to experience to teach us something, and gosh, did I learn a lot from that experience. Um, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a very dark moment when I just wanted to hit a reset button and just stop everything, if you know what I mean, right? Really, really dark. But I had a practitioner that I work with and I tapped, and after 2 or 3 sessions, it just really started shifting so quickly. I have a blog post on that, and it just talks about how things turn around drastically and how many brilliant and beautiful things came out of this experience. Just to name a few, she really started recovering very fast. So she went into remission just a couple of months after she was diagnosed, and it was pretty severe when she was diagnosed. And I just decided right there, right then, that she's going to recover, that she's going to be okay. And we were faced with over 100,000 of medical bills because our insurance wasn't very good, as it turned out. And all of that also I was able to manifest in terms of it was all covered. So we applied for kind of like a government grant, and we were approved, and we got 100% free treatment. So it was even better than a good insurance. So we faced so many things that were just really difficult and dark, and I mean, like, all of these turned around completely. And it's amazing how many people come into my life right now who become my clients and who will ask me questions that have similar things happening in their lives, either with money or with cancer. And if I wouldn't have that experience, I wouldn't able to resonate with them and say, listen, I've been there. You can get through this. I can guarantee you. And those are the things that you can do. And tapping is a um, great way to start on uncovering and releasing some of the blocks and beliefs that you hold within that manifested that. And I remember the biggest thing for me, uh, someone who is an EFT practitioner and somebody who I consider highly evolved, or emotionally intelligent and spiritual, and having a daughter with who was diagnosed with cancer was a huge just like hit all over my head. And I was like, what am I doing wrong, right? So immediately I went just like, what am I doing wrong? When you're in the midst of this darkness, you don't say what is trying to emerge, right? You're saying, what am I doing wrong? How did I manifested it? How horrible of a parent I must have been to have this happen. Because I understand, again, as a spiritual and evolved person, that kids' emotion are a reflection of parents' emotion. Like, especially someone a 3-year-old, I mean, they just learning how to feel stuff. They don't have a whole lot of their own ways to feel it. They just really picking up what's outside of them. And what was going on outside of um of her at that time is me and my ex-husband, the relationship were very toxic. I mean, we were struggling. Um, in my culture, divorce was almost not an option. I mean, I was thinking about that, but I just wasn't brave enough already, or to step that way. And so what ended up happening is, relationship has run its course, but I wasn't taking any specific steps to actually, get out of it. And so we were in this kind of rut feeling where a lot of things got dense. And I think it was part of the reason why, Vicky, my daughter, got sick. But just like I said, that story has an amazing ending. If you see her, she just looks like an absolutely normal kid running around. And I have decided that when she was sick, I said, I'm just going to see her with a full head of hair walking to the bus stop. Oh gosh, I'm getting a little sensitive. And just being absolutely healthy. And so if you or someone experience this condition, cancer, that the answer is yes, anger is a big part of it. But what I want you to do is not take it as a guilt, but more kind of as a lesson and as an opportunity, because I've learned so much from both my mom's experience and my daughter's experience. And there are so many amazing changes that I've made in my life to make sure that this is not something that I will experience in future. Of course, you just don't know what to expect, right? So you have to be open. But what I've learned is that my diet contributes to how I feel, and my exercise contributes to how I feel, and my emotions is a huge part of it. And 2017 was really a turning point for me because I've changed my diet completely. So keto diet is what I'm using. I lost 20 pounds, and I feel so energized, and I just want to like work out all the time and move all the time. And this is because I've watched something that didn't work for my mom. She still struggles with moving. She's still struggling with some things in her diet. But I've looked at that and I said, thank you, God, and thank you, universe, and thank you, Mom, for showing me what is possible and what is not possible when you don't take proper care of your body and your emotions and your inner self. And so my daughter also was a huge gift to me and people that I serve. And I'm so grateful that her soul, oh gosh, again, chose that experience, which is obviously not easy, right? She went through this very well, but it's because of something that she chose on a soul level to experience. I've learned and grown so much, and I have an opportunity to share it with you. So if you are in a dark place and if you are struggling, just tap. Tapping is an awesome technique. Just Google EFT for cancer or just EFT tapping for emotions or for anger, and just keep on tapping. And one last thing that I'm going to mention is how what we practice we get better at, right? So there's one tip I want you to walk away from this. Let it be it. Notice continually how you're feeling, because it's very habitual. Tapping is great because it serves as a trance breaker. It always brings you in a moment, and it lets you notice that how you're feeling, like right here, right now. And if you are not feeling the way that you want to feel, if you're not light or happy or present or vibrant or inspired, then just stop whatever you're doing and shift. And some of my favorite ways to shift is to get up and dance in the kitchen or sing or go for a walk and go for a bike ride. Or if you don't have, that opportunity, go to the restroom and tap. Just use this amazing tapping technique, fast EFT, to kind of break this trance, because what you'll notice happening is you'll relax, your body will relax, and you start practicing a certain emotion that you do want to feel. So if you're afraid that your subconscious default is anger, just acknowledge it and accept it. It's totally fine. It's always start with awareness, right? So be aware of that and strive for being lighter, to feeling lighter. What can I do right now to feel lighter? Can I just smile? Can I drop my shoulders? Can I relax my body? Can I get a glass of water? Can I talk to someone who helped me raise my vibration? Can I just go within and send love to every part of my body? What is the thing that I can do to raise the vibration right here, right now, right? So practice, 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 just as diligently as we practice becoming a better professional or a piano player or a football player or whatever it is that you want to master. My number one mastery, and this is something I was searching for, what is it I want to be best in the world? It's emotional mastery. I want to learn how to be emotionally resilient, not in the sense that there's no ups and downs and I'm just very kind of steady and calm all the time, but how you being very honest and present with your emotions in the healthiest way possible. So feel what you feel, be aware, tap away what doesn't serve you or what you don't want to keep. Just accept yourself, love yourself. You got it. Thank you for listening. Have an awesome day, guys. Catch up with you next time. Bye.